The latest Pompey news, updates every day from the Pompey Sound news desk.
Let's get a quick helicopter view from on high about Saturday's game against Stoke.
So Portsmouth ended up losing 1-0 to Stoke City today. The only goal of the game came in the 70th minute, and unfortunately for Portsmouth, it was an own goal by their defender Hayden Matthews. They had a few good chances, especially in the second half, but Stoke's goalkeeper kept them out. In the end, Portsmouth just couldn't find an equaliser, and this result leaves them sitting 19th in the league table.
What was the general opinion about Josh Murphy?
Basically, the press noted that Josh Murphy really made a difference when he came on. Even though Portsmouth lost, Murphy set up a great chance for Mackenzie Kirk and looked lively after returning from injury. So in short, the press saw him as a bright spot in an otherwise tough match.
And what was the verdict on Mackenzie Kirk?
So the verdict on Mackenzie Kirk was pretty positive. Even though he didn't score, the report said he showed some good energy and movement up front. He had that one big chance that Murphy created, and the general feeling was that he's getting more comfortable and might earn more minutes. Basically a decent cameo and something for the fans to feel a bit hopeful about.
And how about Matthews, Hayden Matthews, who scored the own goal? How did he perform in general, and do we have any information about his injury?
So overall, Hayden Matthews had a decent game defensively, but he did score that unfortunate own goal that decided the match. After that, he had to come off with what seemed like cramp, and there's no official word on any injury right now. We'll likely hear more soon if there's anything serious.
Staying with Matthews, you have to hope that the own goal won't affect him in any way, his confidence or his self-belief or whatever. But most of all, I think we want to make sure that whatever it was that was wrong with his calf, and there was speculation just there that it might be straightforward cramp, which we can deal with. You don't see cramp very often these days, if cramp is what it was. So fingers crossed. But isn't it grand that we have chomping at the bit and wanting to get out there and start not only Knight but Bowat. So we've got plenty of very, very competent, high-class players standing by to make sure that we are not going to be doing, hopefully anyway, what we ended up doing last season, which was playing either Conor Ogilvie or Marlon Pack as a relief centre-half, because they did a great job. But preferably, we'd rather a specialised centre-half is playing centre-half for Pompey. And at the moment, even if Matthews' injury rules him out for a week or two, hopefully no more than that, didn't look serious, we've got cover.
John Messinio on Stoke.
I thought it was a pretty ordinary first half in terms of performance levels from us. We probably stepped it up in the second half, and I thought we were a much better side. But we didn't put the ball in the back of the net, and a really poor piece of defending where we end up letting Thomas back inside, and we can't sort ourselves out quickly enough in the box, and the ball ended up in the back of the net. That was the obviously the difference between the two sides. Apart from that, I thought we were much improved after half time, a much better side, but we didn't manage to get anything from it. Just small details, I think, in the game. We obviously didn't put the ball in the back of the net. Probably wasted 45 minutes as well, and didn't defend well enough in certain moments. And against a side who've got that ability to punish you, and Thomas has had an extremely good season so far. If you let him back inside on his right foot, then he's very dangerous.
John Messina made 2 substitutions on 67 minutes. One worked spectacularly well. Yang had been playing his heart out but hadn't managed to create any penetration, whereas when Murphy came on, he was really getting in amongst them and making things happen. At the other end of the pitch, Williams came off and Terry Devlin came on, and Devlin didn't manage to spot or prevent the cutback onto his right foot that led to the cross that led to Matthews knocking it into our net. It was annoying, wasn't it, seeing a Stoke player celebrating with the fans as if he'd scored the goal. But in actual fact, there wasn't a Stoke shirt within 15, 20 metres of Matthews when he made the error that he did. Then what do? You're happy. You're happy for your fans because your fans are celebrating because they're one up. But you don't need to create the impression that you want to take some credit for it, because the only person who deserved any credit was it Thomas, who got the cross in for them. And no amount of analysis will ever tell us whether Matthews did his leg just as he was looking to make contact with the ball, and that was what meant that his header turned into the header that it was, which was destined for our own net, rather than whatever he was trying to do, which was to head it away, maybe put it around for a corner or whatever, or maybe even control it. But if your leg goes half a second before you do your jump, or as you're jumping and you are about to make contact to the ball, it's going to throw you a little bit. We might find out whether the leg went before he actually made the header or whether it happened when he landed. I've looked at it 4 or 5 times and it looks to me as though it happened as he landed. But we're not going to hold it against him, and he mustn't hold it against himself.
Josh Murphy, on how he's feeling fitness-wise.
So I'm happy to be back, and hopefully I can start to build momentum, while providing some goals and assists for the team. I'm just looking to do the very best that I can on the pitch to help propel this side up the championship table. I've been like all the other fans recently, willing the ball into the back of the net and getting disgruntled when things aren't going to plan. It feels like so long ago that I got the injury and I was fine running in a straight line but couldn't twist and turn. That Southampton game was pretty painful. The rehab period was long as we tried to get it all sorted, but thankfully I feel fine now and I'm ready to crack on. I'm just looking to do the very best that I can on the pitch to help propel this side up the championship table. Murphy was involved in the most promising moment of the match for the Blues, with his cross leading to a Mackenzie Kirk shot that was saved at point-blank range by Victor Johansson. He said, "We came out for the second half, were dominating and looked like the side who were going to go on and win the game. But we missed a great chance, and then they go up the other end and score. That's just the way our luck is at the moment. We're just not clinical enough right now, and aren't defending our box properly."
Well, on the evidence of the Stoke game, Josh Murphy, and surely nobody who's Pompey would say anything other than this, is our game changer. We've got good professionals all over the pitch, but in Murphy we've got somebody who can turn the game. And that's what you want, that's what you need. He's absolutely right when he says that we should be defending the box properly, of course. And that is one set of priorities. But down at the other end is our other set of priorities, which is less governed by thorough training and instilling into players the right thing to do. It's down to inspiration. And Josh Murphy can do it. He knows how to unlock the door. He gave their right back, the Stoke right back, a torrid time when he came on. And he was a man who was nursing a rehabilitated injury and therefore could be forgiven for just being a little bit cautious in the way he was playing, because he didn't want to aggravate that injury, which is obviously 100%, but he's aware of it. But that didn't bother him. He still skinned the guy alive 5, 6, 7 times. How long was he on for? 20 minutes? Something like that. He skinned him over and over again. There were occasions when he was taking a ball that had come to him from a distance, and he allowed his concentration just to wander a little bit as to who was closing him down and who might clatter him, and his control was less than perfect. But when he had the ball at his feet, it didn't matter how close they had got to him, how many players they put on him to close him down. He got in and got the cross in. And it's a great shame for us, for him, and for Mackenzie Kirk, that Kirk got a good contact on the ball, but it was just too close to the goalkeeper. It's very difficult when you receive a cross like that to say, OK, I'm going to put it to this side of the goalkeeper or that side of the goalkeeper. It's coming at you so fast, you want to get a good contact on it. That's the main thing. He did. Well, you want to get there first. He did. He got a good contact on the ball. He did. It was just that. It was almost too good a contact. If he'd scuffed it slightly, it might have gone to the keeper's right or left. As it was, it went close enough to the keeper for the keeper to make a celebrated, instinctive save of the effort by Kirk. But the point is this: Josh Murphy is back. And he was doing time and time again, every time and time again, what he can do, and only he can do in a Pompey shirt, which is to open up the opposition defence. And that is great news for Pompey, great news for him, great news for Mackenzie Kirk, but really great news for Colby. Colby is going to be dancing down the stairs on Sunday morning for his early morning cup of fruit juice. Or vegetable juice, or a cup of coffee if he's allowed, and he's going to be dancing down those stairs because he knows that Josh Murphy is back, and that means that Colby Bishop is back. After the Stoke game, John Messina had this to say about the Segacic injury.
It's not too bad considering what we thought. We're looking at 4 to 6 weeks for Segs, so that's a much better prognosis than we originally feared. He came into the training ground as pleased as could be on Friday morning, given the results. He was bouncing around and back to his usual self. There's not quite the physical activity, given he's got his foot in a boot. He's turned his ankle and there's ligament damage, but there's no need for surgery.
And this on the Stoke game and the result.
It's one of the most frustrating ones of the season, given the nature of the game, and I felt we should have come away with 3 points. Ultimately, we got beat by the better side on Tuesday and can live with that, after a point at the King Power, but today we left far too much out there, and should have come away with at least a point, if not all 3.
Surely it's perfectly fair enough that John Messino is speaking there from the heart rather than the head when he says, I believe he said, that we should have come away with all 3 points. From everybody that we've talked to, it seems that the general opinion is amongst Pompey fans that a goalless draw would have been the right result, and 1 point would actually have been quite satisfactory, because if you look at the championship table at the moment, you can see that we have been playing top rated sides, and that's in terms of the number of points they've got on the board rather than anything else. It's not based on our own judgment about how the team look. I believe Guy Whittingham is saying somewhere else that it was a poor side, and it's worrying for Pompey that they came and beat us. But Guy, and people who are saying things like that, and there aren't very many of them, just go and have a look at the league table. That's all that matters, is points on the board. And they've got plenty of points on the board, and they've got some good results. So they're doing something right. So they're not a bad side. They're a good to medium side. They were lucky to leave Fratton Park with 3 points, but sometimes you make your own luck.